56 minutes after the hour, welcome back to the most news in the morning. The House had $700 billion of your taxpayer money on the table yesterday. And with the eyes of the world watching, a majority voted against the bailout bill. Republican Marsha Blackburn represents Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. She was one of those no votes, and she joins us now live this morning from Nashville. Congresswoman Blackburn, great to see you this morning. Tell me, why did you vote against the bill, particularly when you were part of the group that was trying to come up with a deal over the weekend?
Absolutely. And, John, let me say that we are committed to finding a resolution to this issue, and I think we'll have one by week's end. One of the things for me that I think we need to go back and revisit is the top-line cost of this. You're talking about $700 billion, $250 billion, basically blank check at this point for Secretary Paulson. But then on top of that, when you read the bill, there was an increase in the federal debt limit to $11.3 trillion. Now, all of that is taxpayer cost. And one of the things that we had said, hey, let's look at the other side of the ledger. You're talking about all this cost, but let's dissect this problem. Why don't we do some across-the-board spending reductions for federal agencies? This is a time when you need to be reducing what you're spending. I mean, 5% across the board gives you $100 billion.
I mean, Congresswoman,
and if we're all in, let's get in and let's get this solved.
Right, but these are obviously staggering amounts of money, particularly raising the debt ceiling. But if you start getting into the idea of cutting discretionary spending in this bill, I mean, are you ever going to get anything done by the end of the year? Because Congress still hasn't passed any of the spending bills from this year.
You're correct, and this is a very serious problem, and that is why we are very committed to finding a resolution to this and doing it this week. And I applaud those that have been negotiating this, because they have worked hard and they have done a great job. But there are other things that can be done and should be being done in conjunction with this. You've got the mark-to-market rule that should be suspended. You have FDIC insurance that should be raised.
So do you agree with Senator Obama on that? Because he's going to propose an increase to $250,000 this morning.
And I'm in agreement with this. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue that we have to be resolved, and this is something that should be done. Raising those limits to help calm the market, that should be done. Suspending mark-to-market to help with the liquidity issue, because, as you know, it is a capital markets, it is a credit markets, it's a liquidity issue that is first and foremost. Now, as we work on this in the future, we get to those issues like reforming Freddie and Fannie. But, you know, what we have to do is address this liquidity issue right now. We have to address it in front of us this week. We have to find a resolution. And there are some other components of this that ended up on the edit room floor, if you will, that need to be revisited. Among them are the FDIC insurance, the uptick rule, the mark-to-market, some spending reductions from the federal side of the ledger so that we're helping protect the taxpayers. $700 billion is a lot of money. $11.3 trillion debt limit. Raising that debt limit from the $9.8 trillion up to $11.3 trillion, that's a lot of money.
It's obviously a huge amount of money. Well, you say you could get it done by the end of the week. I don't know if we can hold you to your word, but we'll keep watching.
We're committed to getting it done.
Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn.
We know the American people want it done. Thank you so much.
Great to see you this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Coming right up now to the top of the hour, 7 o'clock here in New York. Breaking this morning, President Bush will make a statement on the economic crisis right before the markets open at 8:45 Eastern this morning. Then the White House and congressional leaders will try to keep this $700 billion bailout plan alive, at least in some way, shape, or form. Yesterday, the House shocked Wall Street by shooting it down, triggering a record 777-point sell-off. This morning, Senator Barack Obama released a statement saying that continued inaction would be, quote, catastrophic for the economy and families. Oil prices fell below $94 a barrel early this morning on economic fears. Yesterday, prices also fell more than $10 a barrel, one of the biggest one-day drops ever. And the gas shortage drags on in the southeast. Some drivers are still sitting in 2-hour lines waiting to fill up. Industry experts say that this could last for yet another 2 weeks. Stations started drying up after Hurricanes Gustav and Ike shut down refineries along the Gulf Coast.
Well, back to our